my first question for you. And putting on your producer hat and taking on this role, what have you learned about yourself?
Hmm. Um, well, that's an interesting question. I guess I learned how much it's important to me that we as in African Americans are shown in certain places in a light that we've never been shown before. Like it's a passion for me. And I guess I didn't realize how much of a passion that was until now. Like I always go hard about us, getting, what we deserve in all the different businesses that I've been a part of. And that, normally I'm representing as a woman in pretty much every field that I've been in. It's always, it's the music industry. You don't see a lot of women that are making power moves in the business compared to men. So it's always a lot of first for me to be the first woman to do this, the first woman to do that. But right now it's like, okay, as African Americans, we always have known that Broadway has not been the most diverse, they were starting to get some shows that had a little bit diversity as far as like who's starring in certain shows, right before the pandemic happened. And then now it's like for us to be able to bring this show that has an all African American male cast, and then, African American writer, director, and all African American producing team. Like for me, it's like, okay, we got to make this happen. Like it's a must, and this is what we're doing. You know what I mean? And it's not even about financial money glorification on that level. It's about really so that we can be seen. So I think that's what I've learned.
And what are you most excited about for audiences when they see this play?
Well, it's a great show. Keenan Scott II, he's the one who wrote this. This has been like his life work, his passion project. And, like I said, to see Black men starring on Broadway, that's a big deal. Like I'm a kid that I grew up in musical theater. I went to, a musical performing arts school, growing up in high school or whatever. And I was in the Youth Ensemble of Atlanta. So I love theater and musical theater and all of that stuff. So for me, it was always the dream to make it to Broadway, so it was a big deal for me, I guess a couple years ago when I did Mama Morton in Chicago. But I said to myself, I want to be back on Broadway. I need to, figure out a way to do another project with Broadway. But I did not realize I would be coming back in a producer's chair, you know what I mean? So to be able to see this project that Keenan Scott has come up with, it is, slam poetry, spoken word. It's, seeing these men in a different light, telling these stories of men from Brooklyn and all these different levels of things that they go through on a day-to-day that a lot of people don't even see Black men doing or see where they've, coming from. To be able to see that on Broadway, hey, I'm like, that alone should make you come get in these seats, okay?
That's a big deal. That's like a huge big deal. And it sounds like it's showing that we're not one dimensional, different types of Black men,
Exactly. And you said it better than me. It's like, we're not one dimensional. And then the other part of it is like, for so long, for so many years, people looked at Black men one way, you think aggressive. They've always pushed the whole violent narrative, or just those negative images that have been put out there in the past. And right now it's more important than ever to show us in a different light, show our men in a different light, and so people can see there's so many different sides, so many different thoughts and emotions that go through a Black man's head on a day-to-day. And to see it play out on stage, I just thought it was, the perfect project to be a part of.
For sure. And I want to pivot just a second, and I want to talk about motherhood. Now, okay. What has been the hardest period of motherhood for you, and how did you deal with it?
Whew, I guess the hardest, well, I mean, as a mother, I think I have a lot of moments that I guess I would consider to be hard. But I think the whole being when it was hard for me to get pregnant with, my children the last time, I think that was a little hard for me because, automatically you just, like for me, Ace, like it, when I got married, before I got married, we was like, okay, we want to have children together once we actually are married. But I was kind of shocked that it just didn't happen on its own. And when they didn't just happen on its own, because, like when I was younger, obviously I had Riley with no issues, no problems or whatever. So I didn't think that it was me. I thought maybe something was wrong with him. You know what I'm saying? And then when I found out that it was me, that was a little bit of a hard pill to swallow, because you start having all these thoughts going through your head, what's wrong with me, what did I do wrong, and all this other kind of stuff. And then, to think about the other options of how to be able to have a child. And it's like, you have this weird feeling of, should I even be considering this? Or maybe God don't want me to have more kids, all that type of stuff. So yes, I would say that probably was the hardest, because that's an actual decision, physical decision you have to go through, make happen, to do like in vitro to have a child, like you really going hard and working to have a child. And to make that decision that's a big decision to make.
For sure. Well, first off, thank you for being transparent with that, even showing it on the show and speaking more about it, because I know that was definitely a difficult time.
Yes.
Yeah, I feel like I'm making the decision to freeze my eggs. I don't have any kids. I'm the best parent ever though, but that's my big decision that I'm making.
Right, that's a big decision though. You know what I mean? And people don't even really think about the fact to even take that step to make that decision, because now you physically have made the choice to put your eggs here. So when are you going to use them? You know what I'm saying? Once it's just so much goes into the process of that, because it's like for us, we ended up with 4 good quality eggs, as they say, or embryos for us, because we both had to put in to get that. But so we had 4, but then we used 2 the first time. So it's like, okay, now you still have 2 left. What are you gonna do? It's just so many thoughts.
Right. Yeah, so many moving parts, thoughts, all of it.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give to a newly blended family?
Blended families are a lot of work, obviously. Especially when you have older children. I think it's easier to get the younger ones into, idea of this is the way our family is. But when you have older children who have been only children for a long time, and then they got to get used to, now we got to be sisters. What? You know what I mean? He got to come stay with us. What? Or vice versa, I think it's important to do a lot of family fun activities together. Like for us, especially with us having older girls, they don't hang out unless they're forced. Basically, it's not being forced, but unless we plan things for us to do together.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we have the best time on our family trips. We have the best time. Like if we say, okay, y'all guys, we're going to go out to dinner together. We're going to go out to eat together. We need to, let's go to park together. Whatever it is, like you need to constantly plan family outings together to force the children to interact and for you to build that relationship. Because sometimes just being in the house, everybody go to their own room.
Mm-hmm.
The communication isn't there. And any relationship is all about great communication.
Yeah, for sure. Like you said, I feel like your daughters, they were what, teens when you guys?
When we first got together, and they were like, Riley was like 10. So it was like 9 to 10 years ago. Yeah.
So still that
it was 10. Yeah, it was like 10 years ago, actually.
Okay.
Almost 10.
And how do you measure success as a parent?
Success as a parent?
We always talk about success in terms of career, but how would you measure success as a parent?
I would say if your children feel loved,
Mm-hmm.
and you know they feel the love, like they're not sitting up here feeling like you left them for took them for granted or didn't care about their feelings. And as they grow up, they still love you dearly, and they themselves have started really building a foundation for a future, and you are helping help them become their own man or woman, and they're able to handle things on their own without you being around, and not in a bad way but in a positive way, then I think it's success. I mean, I personally feel like nothing is ever going to be perfect as a parent, but like if you support your kid in their dreams, or if they haven't figured out what their dreams are and you still supported them and help them to, just hell, get out there and take care of themselves.
Right. Comes down to right.
That, because it's just so many parts. And, I feel like, it's never ending. It's not like I can say, oh yeah, I'm a successful parent or everything worked out for me, because at the end of the day, Riley's still in college. She is my parent. Me being a parent is still going for her. It's never going to stop, so I don't know if it's a total success until years later and she's still doing good. Ace and Blaze, they happy as they can be. So I guess that we were successful in that sense because they're happy. And
right.
And that's the main thing you want, right?
Yes, happy childhood, because you can never get that time back. So
right.
You didn't have a happy childhood. So I definitely think that's success. And with wearing so many hats day to day, you have to give a lot of yourself to other people, as a mom, as a wife, daughter, entrepreneur, a friend, the list goes on. But in what ways do you show love for yourself?
Oh, child. I was just telling somebody the other day, I'm not good at self-care. Like, I'm so not good at that. The only thing that I feel like I do for myself on a regular basis that I enjoy and I feel like is time for me is getting my nails done. I know it's something so simple, but that is probably the only thing that I am guaranteed to do for me, even when it has nothing to do with work. Because, like, say for instance, I get my hair and makeup done all the time, but that's really because I either have some filming, photographs, something I got to do. So, something I have to do. But just getting my nails done, I enjoy doing that on my day off, or, and I just relax, and me and my homegirl to do my nails, we laugh and we joke together, and, it's just my moment to just, simple, not that crazy. It's just me. And then the other thing is just sitting around laying in bed and watching my favorite TV shows and movies.
That's my self-care right there. Not worried about my hair, my makeup, getting dressed. Yes, that's my self-care. And now you've worked with many artists, but I'm curious, who's on your vision board to work with next that you haven't already worked with?
Oh, that's a tough one. As far as music is concerned, I'm pretty much open to everybody, man. I always would have liked or would love to work with Rihanna. I think that would be a dope as far as working with musically. As far as I feel like in all areas of life, there are people that, I would like to work with, or people that I look up to and say, wow, like I would love to be in a movie with Will Smith, or, you know what I mean? Something like that, you know what I mean? Yeah. So I just feel like it's different lanes. There are different people that I look at and say, wow, I love what they're doing with their careers.
Mm-hmm. And what's a song from your catalog to describe your mood right now in this very moment?
A song from my, I guess one of my faves would be So Good, the one that Destiny's Child did.
Oh my God. Do you not know I was literally in Starbucks day before yesterday, and that came on. When I tell you the whole Starbucks was jumping, like
Really?
yes, we're supposed to be in there working and everybody started, hey, how you doing? Yeah, I'm doing, like pulling their earphones.
Yes. I always love that song. I feel like it represented where I was at in my life at that time. And even still to this day, I totally relate to what the lyrics are saying.
Yeah, for sure. And in the next chapter of Kandi Burruss, what are you hoping it will be, or what are you hoping to achieve?
World domination. I'm just kidding. There's so many things that I want to do. Like I want to continue to set myself up for success. Like I love to have my own major talk show one day, hopefully soon. I want to produce films and TV shows with my husband. I mean, that's something that we are actively planning to do in the future. Continue to build our restaurant group and continue to make it successful. Build a legacy that I can pass to our children, you know what I mean? And help my other family members accomplish their dreams and goals, Yeah. So it's a lot that I want to do for myself and, the people around me.
And this is actually my last question, which ties into your previous answer. So August is Black Business Month, and you discussed, more business ventures. But what do you determine is a good business venture for you?
What's a good one?
Yeah, like how do you determine, oh, this fits, this aligns, this is perfect, or this is what's
Oh, okay. It's stuff that I naturally do on a day-to-day that I just love doing, even without getting paid for it. So basically, to me, it's easy to have these restaurants. Well, it's not easy because the restaurant business is the hardest one, but literally. I love food. I love going out to eat. So, when we decided to do that, it was like, yeah, this is a good one because I know everybody like to go out to eat. You know what I mean? Bedroom Kandi is an amazing business. Really, the reason why I started doing it because I was doing candy coated nights first. And I realized there were so many people who like talking about sex and relationships. And I wanted a brand that went along with my whole candy coated nights thing that I was doing at the time or whatever. So, at first it was, okay, I want to put out these products. Those products came out, it was successful right as soon as we put it out. But then because, I'm so girl power all day long and I love seeing other entrepreneurs, I wanted to do an in-home consulting company that was attached to it so that we can have other consultants, selling the products and basically having their own business. And we did that. And now it's extremely successful. Like our consultants are doing amazing numbers right now. Like, not to be telling their business, but to know that I'm a part of something where so many people are able to make so much money. It makes me feel really good. But yeah, and then, I mean, typically as a woman, I feel like because we are the biggest consumer, if it's something that women like, I mean, whether it's my cosmetic company, Candy Coated Cosmetics, or my clothing stores, tags, boutique stores, it's like, they're things that women love. And normally if women like it, it's going to be successful. I mean, as long as you put the work in, obviously.
Have you ever made like a bad business decision, or like,
sure,
I shouldn't have went into business with this person, or I shouldn't have did this as a business?
Hell yeah. Yes. So multiple times that has happened, but when I have something that bad happens or it seems like everything went to hell, then it's definitely a learning lesson, and I just figure out how to do it right and better the next time around. So I don't let it like tear me down. I don't let it stop me. I just regroup, gather myself, figure out what I did wrong, and get it right the next to go around. Because, people never see the things that didn't work. They only see the things that did. So people like, oh, you're doing so much, everything goes right for you. I'm like, nope, that's not true.
That's why
that is not true. If you only knew, it's a lot of things that fall apart, fall to the wayside. You know, some things I just can't figure out how to fix. It happens, you know, but you can't let that deter you or get you down to where you're never going to try it again, or you're not going to do it again. Oh, people don't want to. No, it's just like, oh, okay, cool. I figured out that didn't work. So let me go back at it a different direction.
Right. So you don't stay in your head a long period of time. You give yourself just enough to, okay.
Because at the end of the day, I feel like we defeat ourselves. A lot of times, because we be so wrapped up in why it won't work, we don't think about the reasons why it will work. I was just talking to somebody the other day. I was like, damn, I'm having to do too much work hyping you up. Come on, get it together. Because, you know, I don't even want to say the name, but they were like, oh, you know, nobody's going to really want to see it from me. Nobody's want to buy this. Nobody want to. I'm like, would you please quit telling yourself all the reason why it won't work? Like, you've already defeated yourself before you took step one. Like, you didn't even take the chance to set up a page to see how many people you can get to check it out. You didn't do anything. You didn't take any steps. You told yourself it wasn't going to work. So it's like, of course it didn't work because you didn't believe it was going to work. But if you really believe in yourself and you start putting in the work, you start doing the research, because the research is everything. You start making the plan. That's the other thing. Executing the plan. You know, it's like, tell me after you get some real information that, you know, like, don't do it before you didn't do no research and nothing. Tell me how it's not gonna work. Oh, nobody's not gonna like it. No, I don't know what you think. It's gonna cost you. This is the first one they like to say. Oh, it's gonna cost too much. Okay, how much is it gonna cost? I don't know, but it's gonna be a lot. What? Well, maybe to break it down and do it in baby steps. How much does just that part cost? Well, I don't know, but I bet you it's gonna be a lot. Don't you tell me that. If you don't get your butt over there and make some calls, do some research, you know, like, I hate when people do that.
Yes, do your homework. But I also feel like we live in a society, especially with social media, they don't see the background, the work, the failures, I did my research, did my homework, and put out the framework. They just see the instant results and they're like, oh, and then, yeah, but.
Right.
Well, that is our time. Thank you so much for today. This was great.
Oh, thanks. It was great talking to you.
Good talking to you too. Bye.
Bye.